is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love, love, love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is our deepest prayer.
Good morning, Napa Valley. So good to have everybody here on this sunny Sunday. We don't get to say that very much. Our days are sunny, but we appreciate the rain. We're grateful for the sun. So glad you have decided to join us today. I've got a little feedback here, Alex, and just wanting everybody and a good day today and wonderful music. Let's welcome Bodhi.
Live here, we need some vocals on there. Are we there? Are we coming up? Good morning. Sunday. Sun. You ready? We're all on the same page, it looks like.
On the same page.
I love being here. It's so great. I love coming here. Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart, live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of joy. Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart, live your way. Teach me, hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of joy. One more time now, Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart, live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Everybody, one last time. Spirit. I think we're learning that song. You guys are getting good at that. Next month, I think you'll sing it by yourself.
That's great. Well, good morning to everybody. A blessing to everybody. Welcome, especially if this is your first time with us today. We appreciate you being here and know that this is a community that embraces all people, faiths, cultures, and orientations. And we are a blessing to each other in this community. So thank you for being a part of this community. We'd like to begin with our vision and mission statement. If you'll look up on the screen, we welcome people online as well, and you have your screen to look at too. So read with us. We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. A glorious affirmation for us this morning that I find is a personal affirmation in my spiritual path. I hope you do too, but it also guides this community in living intentionally and loving unconditionally in every way that we can. So a few announcements before we begin our service. We are continuing this march to celebrate Women's History Month. It's interesting during this time of Palm Sunday and Easter, a lot of emphasis put on, Palm Sunday was when Jesus went into Jerusalem and he was praised for the wisdom. He was finally being recognized for his teachings and his healings. And what we know about Jesus is where he learned that wisdom was not from the Jewish clerics, because he disdained them for hypocrisy, but from the wisdom teachings taught by women. How about that? And so it's this, that women at that time were not allowed to teach publicly, so they taught in small circles in people's homes. And Jesus was able to take this teaching publicly, and it was Palm Sunday that it was acknowledged. But we today not only acknowledge Jesus, but we acknowledge those teachings, these ancient teachings that women were teaching at the time of Jesus. and honor the wisdom. And just in the last 100 years, at least in the United States, have women been able to take places of teaching in centers and churches across this nation. So we appreciate that and continue to honor that. And then also wanted to point out that we gave you new flyers today for Sip and Savor that hopefully you picked up. And these are not only meant for you, there's a place to, tickets are now, sales are now open that you can buy them off the QR code or off our website. But it's also designed that you can take, Alex, I'm still getting a little feedback on my microphone. Maybe it's reverb or something. Okay, maybe it's an extra microphone that's open. Okay, well maybe just check the reverb. So that you can take the, not only for your own benefit, but also if you know of a winery or a store or restaurant that you have a friendship with, you can take a form like this to them and a flyer. There's extra flyers out there. And what's great, it not only talks about the events, about the Compassionate Heart Award winners, which we're excited about. We had some great nominations this year. It was tough to decide, but our 4 winners are Corey Edwards, Jim Warnock, and Denise, and Celicia, and Harris. And that these are, these are important people in our community, our bigger community that we celebrate. And a lot of people know these people, so they'll respond to this, go, oh yeah, I want to be there, I want to support this. And so also, if they want to know where the money goes to, that our auction, our silent auction goes to, there's all listed on the back of this card, all our different projects we have. So it's easy to promote it in this way, to say we're honoring Compassionate Heart Award winners, and this is what it all goes to. So this is an important way to promote it, that people are behind it. I talked to somebody this week, and they're going, oh my gosh, Harris and Jim Warnock and Denise, these are amazing people. So amazing. I'm going to be there, and that's what a lot of people do. So you can invite your friends to buy tickets. Ticket sales are open now, or to donate gift certificates, create gift baskets you can do yourself to collect a few things and put in a gift basket. Jewelry, fine art, trips, like if you have a timeshare or vacation, something like that you can be a part of that. So I invite you to donate. These slips can be used to donate as well, and offering this as a way to promote it. So please do that. This is the time that we need to gather these auction items. Mary may not know this, but we're ready in the office to start receiving things, so bring it on in. She adjusts quickly, though, thank God. So this is all part of what we do here at the center to continue. These forms are available. And then also a new, talking about our projects that we do for compassion and action that's listed on here, a new one that we have begun to do that this community has been excited about. We didn't know. Sean Boyd went to Uganda to work with the East African Education Initiative, and he's been a sponsor for 20 years or so of a child who's now a man, a professor, a graduate, a college graduate. And that you have the opportunity, we're promoting, there's forms on the welcome table to give to this program that's in Uganda in one of 2 ways. One, you can just give a general donation that helps with school supplies and the school building and teachers and things like that. So you can do a one-time donation and you're done. Or if you want to do a sponsorship of a child either in elementary school or the upper school, you can do that. And this is an annual commitment that you do, and they'll assign a student to you, and you can have emails back and forth. And that's what Sean did for the sponsorship he did. What's the name of your sponsor? Your son, as you call him. Say it again. Ronald. So so that's a choice there, what you want to do and how you can be a part of that. So those forms are out on the welcome table, and more information about the cost of things and everything. So we appreciate you embracing that. And then this coming week is our Easter week events. We're excited. We do this every year. And the first one is, we have our regular meditation on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we have something called a metaphysical communion. Now, this is a little confusing for people that might have grown up with communion practices in the Protestant church or Catholic church that they're a part of. But really, this rite that Jesus did with his disciples during Passover is a Jewish rite. It's not. It's been adapted by Christians, not till the 4th century though. Really, not till later on. It wasn't that Jesus promoted to do it this way. But we're going to go back to the ancient Jewish ritual, breaking bread, which is a celebration of life, not death, and also we do an anointing ritual. That's part of this as well, so it's kind of a fun thing. We promise no washing of feet. Okay, we're not going to be doing that. Just like, but we will do an anointing. It's a very sacred and ritual, as well as it gives you probably a new context, a reframing of what communion is and what Easter is. So I think it's an important time to gather. It'll be right here in the sanctuary. And then the next day on Friday, we're having a contemplative labyrinth walk between 4:30 and 7:30. So you can come anytime during that time, allow about 30 minutes to meditate a little bit, and then walk the labyrinth and stay a minute afterwards. We'd hope to do it in the courtyard, but it's looking like it's going to rain on Friday. So we'll probably it does fit in this room, so we can do it in this room if need be. Either one is fine. If it's clear day, we'll be outside. If not, we'll be in here. And either way, between 4:30 and 7:30, come anytime in that time frame. And then, of course, Easter on Sunday, regular time service, 10:30. And it's right now scheduled to not rain on Sunday, so that'll be nice. We'll still be indoors, but we'll be having outside. We'll have a children's program and an Easter egg hunt for children. Okay, for children. I need to clarify that. Some of you people are going to start looking for the eggs before it's time. And then, but it'll be a great service. We're having Ariana and Janet here. We're going to have the. I don't remember, last year at Easter, we had a group of people come up and do a song with Marianne and Janet, the Joy Singers. You guys are invited back, and anybody else who wants to sing with us. There's going to be a rehearsal right after the service, or a few minutes, probably 11:45 in the offices. And there's going to be a video that you practice with. Everybody's up. Everybody come on up. It'll be fun. It'll be easy. Not only will you rehearse today, but you'll come early on Easter morning and rehearse with Narion and Janet. So that, and you know how they're kind of quirky and fun, and that's what this is. It's not meant to be, there's no parts to this. You just get up and sing and have fun with it. So that's right after the service. You can join Mary in the office in there. And then the following Sunday, April 7th, is going to be a delicious pancake breakfast sponsored by the Spanish-speaking ministries, a fundraiser for them, $15 suggested donation. And Imelda assured me there was going to be some gluten-free pancakes if you're a person who doesn't like gluten, some almond flour pancakes. So that'll be as an option there as well. And then there's classes starting Spanish-speaking ministry, as well as classes that I'll be teaching. This class for the Spanish-speaking starts this coming week. Mine won't start till mid-April. But if you want more information about it, it's all on our website. We appreciate the power of prayer at the center, and we invite you to participate by telling us what your prayer requests are. You can stay after the service with our practitioners who will be glad to pray with you in person. You can give prayer requests in our lobby or online. We so appreciate the honor of being able to pray for you, because we know Spirit through us creates transformation and changes. On a sadder note, we would like to let you know when we have a congregant who passes, and Carolyn Nash, if you remember her, passed. Mary Ward and I spent some time with their family, with her daughter, Christy, and son-in-law, Dwight, at Tulakay on Friday, and just blessed their family and held them in prayer. So I would appreciate you guys doing that too as we enter this sacred time of our service.
When I pray, I feel my heart grow deeper, my heart right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
And I'd like to invite everyone to recognize that the inner sanctum is right here in our hearts. Thank you. All right, how's that? Can you hear me now? All right. So I'd like to welcome you and invite you into that inner sanctum, which is in our hearts. We don't have to wait for Palm Sunday. We don't have to wait for Christmas. We don't have to wait for, in the Jewish temple, what they call the Holiest of Holies, where only the people of hierarchy could enter. Jesus knew that that inner sanctum is within our hearts. And so we have that available to us 24/7, every day and every second of our lives. So anytime you are feeling alone or stranded or upset, just close your eyes and go into that inner sanctum and know that that's where you meet God at the deepest level. So I invite you now, let's give ourselves a few minutes to just go inside our inner sanctum and recognize the power of spirit that is there for us. So feeling that richness of spirit flow all over us and through us, just know that we are, you are, I am, right where we need to be right now and always. And so I give you peace, and so it is.
Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Inside your heart. Listen to the music in your heart. Feel the joy deep inside your soul. Dance the sacred rhythm of your body. Feel the peace deep inside your mind. Can you feel the love? sing that? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Try it. Can you feel the love? Yeah. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Inside your heart. Can you feel the presence of Great Spirit? Essence of all life that makes us strong. Spirit as creation flowing through me. Source of all that sings through me this song. Here we go. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Inside your heart. Inside your heart. Inside your heart. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love inside your heart? Inside your heart. Inside your heart. Inside your heart. Inside your heart. Reverend Jay.
Thanks, Bodhi. I always appreciate your music. It kind of puts me into a meditative state. Oh yeah, I gotta get up and talk now, don't I? So thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate it. So this time of the year, we always anticipate what's coming up. That time that we think about the sacrifices during Lent, and we've been waiting for months, anticipating this special day that on this Thursday is the opening day for the San Francisco Giants. Isn't that what you were talking about? I know, it's coming up Easter, but it is the San Francisco Giants too at the same time, so. It's funny because, or maybe it's not so funny. I think it's something we take rather seriously here. We don't emphasize Easter in the same way that other religions might talk about Easter. We've been called Christianity without the hell. But what I know is we talk about the teachings of Jesus about liberation rather than salvation. That this is a way of thinking, a way of being that frees us, that liberates us, that allows us to live. And I think if we look at the teachings of Jesus, that's what I hear in them. It was the teachings about Jesus that got into the salvation part. And if you have more traditional beliefs, I don't want to take those beliefs away from you at all. because I don't think they're wrong beliefs. I just don't think they're the only right beliefs. There are more right beliefs than this. Jesus said, one of the often quoted things, he said that I am the way, the light, and the truth. What I know is there's certain code words in the Bible because they come from the Jewish teachings, right? And I am is the great I am that Moses experienced in the burning bush when the voice of Spirit said, I am that I am. So we know when he says I am, he's not talking about the little I. He's talking about the great I am. And the great I am is the way, the light, and the truth. And we know that to be so. No matter what religion you are, or what your beliefs are, or if you are the church of the golf course on Sundays, I don't know. The great I am is with you as well. And we know that. And we step into this time of talking about the wisdom of the heart. And this is the wisdom of the heart that Jesus was able to teach from. It was the way he was taught. And he continued to teach from that. It was misunderstood in many ways. I love the way he would say, he was very open about it. He said when he did his teachings through parables and through different kinds of almost coded things, they would explain to his disciples, but he didn't explain to everybody. And he said, let those that hear, or let those with ears hear, let those with eyes see. He knew his message would not find everybody understanding about this message of liberation. And as we step into this idea of the Holy of Holies, like Diana was talking about, that's available to us all time, and yet there are certain sacred sites. My friend, Dr. Michelle Adrano, who's the co-minister at Mile High Church, was telling me a story. She went on a tour in Egypt. And she excuse me for a minute. She was touring Egypt, and she went to a place that was called the Holy of Holiest. This is in Luxor in Egypt, the Temple of Karnak. And she was just telling the story about how as you go in, you go deeper and deeper into it. It becomes like older and more sacred feeling until you get to this one place in the middle that's called the holiest of holy sites, even in Egypt, among the pyramids and the different sculptures and things, that this is supposed to be the holiest of holy. And that on the pedestal there was once a statue of Amun-Ra, who was Egypt's god of gods, was placed there. Now, this is not the only holy site. This was the most holy site for the Egyptians. But there's also the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, the Vaishnav Deva in India, Mount Fuji in Japan, the Mashhad al-Haram, the great mosque of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. And that's important to talk about now because this is during Ramadan. Now, sometime in the life of Muslim, they're supposed to go to Mecca to take a pilgrimage there. But many people take several pilgrimages there. And right now, during Ramadan, where they're fasting from sunrise to sunset, there are literally millions of people on pilgrimage there. And we're taught, the Muslims are taught before they enter this mosque, this sacred place, that they're to prepare by surrendering and praying and doing different kinds of tasks outside before they come in, so they are prepared for it. In fact, Islam translated to English means surrender. So the native, and there's other people, there's some way of preparing to go into the Holy of Holies. Native Americans, before entering the Nanipi, are sweat lodge, surrender. The way I was taught by a Lakota teacher was you would take little cloths and put tobacco in there and create little strands, almost like a Buddhist prayer flag, and take those in with you. But you are to surrender before you go in there. Buddhists and Hindus surrender and become sacred before they enter the temple. A lot of Asian temples have you to take off your shoes to be respectful and sacred. Jesus lived in Essene communities, and they had a daily practice of doing a sacred bath as well as contemplative prayer before they ate a big meal during the afternoon. And of course, it doesn't take too much logic to figure out this daily sacred bath he had was later John the Baptist was probably in a scene too, and the baptism ritual that now was part of this continuing just a sacred ritual of preparing to enter into this holiness. Now we know that when Jesus talked about going into the Holy of Holies, he was talking, just as Diana was talking about, is about going within. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within. He said it's at hand. It abides in us. And we can find this in just a moment of just breathing, of contemplating, of allowing a sense of peace to come over us, even in a mist of chaos we may be facing. That we can find this. To find it, though, we do need a little bit of preparation. We can surrender and know to enter this kingdom of God, this holy of holy. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said that God is personal to all who are willing to feel this indwelling presence. So all it takes is a willingness. You don't have to have studied meditation for 20 years or read the right scripture or be a practitioner or be a minister. It's simply a willingness to listen and to open. So let's talk about that. How do we enter the Holy of Holies? And it is to recognize, it is to prepare ourselves, and it's simply to open. Let's talk about these ideas a little more here. So what if the Holiest of Holies is located within each of us? What if we don't have to search anywhere for it at all? And first of all, to recognize that everything is sacred. Everything is sacred. In our affirmative prayer that we teach in our classes, there's 5 steps to it. The first 2 steps are just to recognize and unify, to recognize that Spirit is everywhere and everything, and that we are one with it. And that's also the way we teach meditation. It's just a recognizing of the sacred, that everything is holy. One of my favorite musicians, Peter Mayer, has a song called Everything is Holy Now. And I'm going to read his words. I'm not going to sing it, I promise, but I'm going to read his words as if it's poetry, because I think it is. It used to be that holy water was rare at best. It barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there. We lived in heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. Now I walk in reverent air because everything is holy now. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one, because everything is holy now. When he was a child, everything was holy then, but he didn't recognize it as such. And he recognizes that everything is holy now, allowing a sense of peace that we can feel, something greater than us that has our back, a universal wisdom. And you know what opens me up a lot of times is I recognize this is an ancient wisdom. This didn't start 100 years ago with Ernest Holmes. It didn't start with Jesus either. It started way before that. And this ancient wisdom is part of the universal knowing. What's beautiful about this wisdom is that there was a time that there wasn't an internet. I don't know if you know that or not. And not only there wasn't internet, but there wasn't telephones or telegraphs or communication between. So areas like China, Japan were remote from India and Europe and the Americas and Indonesia and Africa and South America and Central America, North America. They were all separate. And guess what? all the people that were open to it discovered the same things. That's why we call it universal wisdom. It's known by all, that we simply need to be open to it. And I have, and just the sacredness of life and the wisdom of the heart. Now, I found great joy and honor in being at holy sites. I've visited, done sweat lodges and temples and sacred rivers and mountains. My favorite is going to the headwaters of a big river, like climbing up into the mountains and finding where the water valley, where the beginning of a river starts. I just love that. And also the delta where it dumps into the ocean. I love that as well. Just a fascination because there's a sacredness to there. And by the way, I consider our center as a sacred site also. Here at the confluence of the Napa River and the Napa Creek, there's been people living continuously on this site for over 10,000 years. There are depictions of it, of the Wapo Indians, the Napa Native Americans, how they lived in a simple hut, in a simple life, aware of the floodplains. They wouldn't live in the floodplains, nor would they live up in the hills where the dry grass was during the summers. But they lived a spiritual life, a sacred life, and I don't know if you feel it, but I definitely feel that. And sometimes I'm in a hurry running around. This morning, I was getting a couple things done, and I just was walking through the courtyard, and I go, hold on a minute. I am on sacred land. What am I doing running around? To recognize it, to call it out. So when you go out for coffee today, spend some time on this sacred land and being aware that we are in the Holy of Holies right here. We also recognize that if the Holy of Holies is within us, then this body that we're in is a temple. Maybe we should start treating it a little bit better, right? What we eat, what we do, the activity we have. And also just an awareness of this inner sanctum that Diana talked about, this inner sanctum that we are, a sacred awareness, a willingness to see our health on many levels in body, mind, heart, and soul. It's been estimated we have 47 miles of multi-level, interconnected, and intertwined electrical wiring in our bodies. 47 miles. That's like from here to San Francisco. And some of them, yes, are part of our nervous system, but part of it is our energy system that you can't see on an MRI or an X-ray, but has been known by the ancients for thousands, tens of thousands of years. I don't know, for a long time. They're aware of how this affects our health system. And it's been measured by scientists since the 1940s as well, that they can measure an energy system that's in our body. So we intuitively have known this for a while, but now there's more and more technology to begin to use it and be aware of this energy system of meridians. There's chiropractors and naturopaths that work with this. And we just finished a course that was based on a book called Wendy DeRosa about empowered empaths. And she talks about the chakra systems and the energy system. It's just an amazing book. I highly recommend. She includes meditations, but it's an awareness of this energy system. And often when we're sick or not well or depressed, it could be because this flow in our body has been altered. And to be aware of this flow brings us back to a greater health, a greater knowing. I also recognize that we all are intuitive beings, and that's what Wendy DeRosa talks about. And what I appreciate what she talked about is that there's different ways we receive our intuition. So I used to think that when somebody would talk about they felt intuition in their body, I'm going, maybe I'm not intuitive. But then really, she talks about there's 4 ways of being intuitive. We can see it like a vision or a sense of something. We can hear it, auditory words that come to us. We can sense it in our body, and we can know it in our body. So you might hear somebody talking about, well, I heard God talking. You're going, what? but it doesn't mean you're not intuitive. You can feel it in your body. You can sense it. To be open. And some people are multi-level on their intuition. But don't discount your intuition, because you are a receptacle of this divine wisdom. Everybody is. Just allow it, honor it, and follow it to see where it goes. Just explore with it, play with it. It's like anything. The more we listen to it, the more it's going to show up in our lives, this intuition. The second thing to go into the Holy of Holies is to prepare the way. I love the message from Isaiah, one of my favorite passages in the Bible. Isaiah was a prophet, and he said, in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Now, first of all, another one of those terms, desert or wilderness, is a code word in the Bible for contemplation and spiritual practice. That's what people would go into the wilderness. They would go into the desert to get away from people to do spiritual practice. So in the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for God. Every valley shall be lifted up. Every mountain and hill shall be made low. The uneven ground shall become level, and the rough places smooth. Then the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. So this is the whole thing in our spiritual practice. I don't know about you, but I used to have extreme emotions of different things, anger and frustration and deep sadness. And I still am sad and upset and angry at times, but my emotions are more leveled out. They're more the middle way, as Buddhists talked about. And this is what I see as powerful for us as beings, that we can find that the uneven ground becomes level, the rough places smooth. This is the grace for me that I always talk about, that with this sense of spirit within inside of us, life is just smoother and easier and less abrupt, even when big things happen in our lives. We can be knocked down, but we can also find ways to get back up and move forward. In the Bible, it talks about sacrifices that Moses talked about, that they need to do animal sacrifices in order to prepare the way for the Lord. And I always wondered, now why would they sacrifice? They didn't have Rayleighs and Luckies to go down to get more food, so why would they waste a whole goat in sacrificial, sure, we want to please God, that's what they thought at least. That's not how we please God, through sacrifices, but that's what they thought at the time. But I was rereading today, and they said, no, you sacrifice the skin and the organs. You burn those in giving to God, but you eat the meat. I go, oh, that makes sense. You didn't sacrifice the whole goat, you need something to eat. But they did it in a sacrificial way, and it's really not that different than Native Americans who, when they killed an animal for their food, that they would thank God, they would give an offering of tobacco or something in gratitude, a sacred rite for knowing that there's a giving and receiving in this universe. But it's been so misinterpreted that we have to sacrifice something, or someone has to be the sacrificial lamb for us, which is simply a lie. It's really not true. That's been made up, a story about Jesus, when really he was just saying we have all that we need. We just, he said only 2 commandments matter. To love each other and to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body, all of you. To be passionate and compassionate and care about each other. He also, when he went to Mount Gethsemane, before he was arrested by the Romans, he went up to pray. And some people talk about the word atonement. But for me, atonement, if you break up the word, it's really an at-one-ment. So you're not atoning for your sins. There's nothing wrong with you. You are whole, complete, and fabulous just the way you are. There's a perfect pattern of the divine in you. You can recreate to create health and wealth and well-being, successful businesses, successful life, wonderful relationships, wonderful friendships, that we can use this spirit within us to create that which we are, and we don't have to sacrifice ourselves at all. We don't surrender, yes. Sacrifice, no. And no one needs to be the sacrifice for Jesus is the liberator of us. One thing that I've learned, and I was reaffirmed by somebody named Mel Robbins, and Mel Robbins she's a podcast teacher and author, and quite an amazing woman's voice here in the world. So she talks about a theory called let them. And I think this is a beautiful idea, and I'm going to let her explain it because she does it better than I do.
So I've been using this thing called the let them theory. I love this. I want you to try it. Here's how it works. The next time you feel left out, your friends all go out to brunch together and they don't invite you. Let them. Or maybe the person you're dating doesn't want a commitment. Let them. Or perhaps your spouse does not want to do the 5K with you. Let them. Your company is laying people off. Let them. You spend so much time and energy trying to control other people and getting emotionally worked up about things that are beyond your control. You can tap into peace and true control if you let them be themselves. And here's the other thing. If you let them, people will then reveal who they truly are. And when they reveal who they truly are to you, you now know what you can choose next that's right for you. So let them.
So let them, right? And what's interesting about this is that we think we're trying to control things with our expectations, but really when we let them, we feel free, and then they can be who they are. They don't have to be anybody else in our lives. Now, I'm not saying that there are times that there might be an abusive relationship or something we want to put a firm line down about. And that's not letting them. That we are standing in our truth. We stand our ground because this is sacred ground. We do that. We know that. But at the same time, we let them be who they are. We can hold our boundaries, our clarity, and we can let them be who they are. Just like Jesus said, whoever has ears, let them hear. Whoever has eyes, let them see. This is, I appreciate Mel Robbins because she's also the one that wrote a book called How to Stop Screwing Yourself Over. So she's clear, we need boundaries in our lives. And we let people be who they are. So instead of taking things personally, we can just allow them to be who they are. And then we have peace within ourselves. We're not trying to control things as such. And the last thing I want to mention is to stay awake. Jesus, one of my favorite stories, about Jesus is before he went up to Mount Gethsemane, he asked his disciples, because here he was struggling with, I'm going to get arrested. I'm probably going to be put to death or at the minimum jailed. Is this really God's will? Is this really what you want? I thought you wanted me out here teaching and you're going to put me away and maybe me put to death. So he wanted his disciples, his closest friends, to stay with him. Stay awake with me. Keep watch. Pray with me. They didn't do it. They fell asleep. And this is a metaphor for us, a metaphysical lesson about staying awake consciously. I don't know about you, but there's times in my life I have gone to sleep, that I have forgotten, that I get wrapped up in life, in some kind of drama, some kind of problem, some kind of concern over something I'm doing that's not working out right, and I forget. Moses, when he came down the mountain, he had these tablets, right? The 10 Commandments. And he told his people before they left, have no other gods before you. Don't be making idols of God. There's nothing that, you are used to multiple gods. There's only one God. So let's stay with this one God. So coming down the mountain, and he has these tablets in hands, and there, in the time he's been gone, they've melted the gold and made golden calves and all things that they're worshiping. They're worshiping other gods other than the one God. And he's not talking about the one God necessarily, but the oneness of all, the one God. Because there's only one God. And he got mad and he threw down the tablets, and then he goes, oh no, those are the only copy. She had to go back up and get them done again. That's okay. They learn from that. And for us, that we have so many things in our life that we're distracted by, that we're not focused on the oneness, we move ourselves out. And that we can allow this not to go to sleep. To be in partnership with life. To be knowing that there's a great truth that's being expressed in this way. An awareness, an awakening. And we are all worthy to enter into this sacredness. We do need to spend some time preparing, of letting go, of surrendering, of recognizing the divine is all. You don't have to take off your shoes, but you do need to let go of some things in your life in order to be ready to receive. To step into the Holy of Holies within ourselves, to recognize our sacredness that we have. To have a full experience of this Holy of Holies within ourselves. And we also get the opportunity to recognize the Holy of Holies within each other as well. Let us go to prayer. I know in this moment there's only one God. That's all there is. One river. There's many wells out there, many different kinds of religions, and we know there's only one God, one life. And this life is perfect because it is God's life that is within us and around us. We know that God is moving in us as we allow it, as we recognize it. So we recognize this truth of who we are. We recognize the Holy of Holies that's within us. And we recognize this Holy of Holies that's within others as well. As we stand on this sacred ground, right where we are, we know we are a sacred being. And we know there's only sacredness. There's only holy right now. And for this, I'm grateful. As we let it go into the law, knowing it is so already. And so it is.
Follow your heart. It'll take you where you want to go. Follow your heart. Everywhere you go. Follow your heart. That's the way to really know. Follow your heart. It'll take you home. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Back home. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow Follow your heart. It'll take you where you want to go. Follow your heart. Everywhere you go. Follow your heart. That's the way to really know. Follow Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart back home. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart back home. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart back home. Back home. Jay always has the best themes. You know, there's always a song to match his theme.
That's easy. I'll come up with a theme next month to throw you
Oh,
off.
I
maybe.
bet you will.
This time in our service, we invite you to participate in the law of circulation. If we could have our ushers come forward. First of all, can I say how wonderful it is to have Dale back? We've missed you, and I'm glad you're fully healthy now. What we know about the law of circulation, that which you give of your time, talent, and treasures comes back to you in a circulation. That's what I'm talking about, a circulation. As you give from the heart, so you receive to the heart. And we appreciate the ways that you support this center in many ways. Support our vision and mission through multiple ways, including donations through the week or today on Sunday. So what I ask is you take your hand to represent that which you have given to us, what you are giving to us today, or what you will give to us in the future, and repeat the affirmation that's on the screen. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. One more time, source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used. I give myself to be used. I give myself to be used by you.
For those of you who don't know Mary Ward, this is Mary Ward. She's our center facilitator
Hi,
and
everybody. Good
extraordinary.
morning. Yeah.
And I was just telling people during the announcements that they can bring in their Sip and Savor auction items immediately, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We need them. We need them. Yeah.
And then also I want you to invite people to come sing with you.
Absolutely. Next Sunday is going to be so fun. So anyone that can join in. I did send a few emails out, but if there's somebody that would really like to and I missed or whatever, I would really appreciate you coming up and letting me know. And I'll send you a link to the song that Narian and Janet have sent out. And it'll just be really fun. They're just the best, and it would be really great to have us all sing together. And we can practice today.
In the office?
In
at
the
what time?
office, yeah.
11:45,
So
12 o'clock?
if you are so called, please come back and let's practice together. And if for some reason, if for some reason you can't do that today, let me know so I can send you the link so you can at least learn the song and then jump in next Sunday, okay?
All right.
So it'll be great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can I just hand that to you? Also remember to take these flyers around to friends, invite them to come to the Sip and Savor, invite them to donate auction items. We so appreciate that. So we also want to honor today anybody who might be here for the first time. We appreciate you being with us today and trying us out. I know coming to a new community is a little scary at times, but we appreciate and know that we are a warm community that embraces all. If you're willing to raise your hand, we have a gift for you. Anybody here for the first time over here? Thank you. We appreciate all. And even if it's your first, second, third, fourth, you're fairly new to our community, please introduce yourself. I do have office hours. I can send you the link, or Mary can send you the link to my online appointment scheduler, so you can schedule some time so I can get to know you. I always appreciate that. So we have a blessing today for everybody here, but especially for our new people. We raise our hands and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Could I have our practitioners come forward, please? Practitioners are here for prayer after the service. If you're interested in a personal affirmative prayer, we would appreciate you. They would love to pray with you. So just stay in your seats until everybody clears out a little bit. And please take your conversation out into the courtyard so that this can stay into a sacred place here for prayer and quiet. Thank you. And now let's welcome our children.
It's great to see everybody. We did a lesson on Palm Sunday, and I like to be complimented by...
Distracted.
Be nice to others when they're sad.
Oh.
Okay, anyone else?
I like to be complimented by when my friends want to play with me, when people are nice to me, when people want to be my friends, and when people respect my boundaries.
Oh, wow.
Can you hold my palm tree?
Yes. I think you said that you like being complimented when the people are being loving. Is that what it said? Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right, let's raise our hands to our children, and with the affirmation that's on the screen, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. Let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I'm protected by love.
I'm protected by love.
I am here to be a blessing.
I'm here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
I am so grateful.
And so it is.
So it is.
And now our closing song. Of holiest within ourselves and recognize the divine in all ways. And so it is. Have a great Sunday.